Cheers, you guys. Happy 4th.
Cheers. Happy 4th.
America.
And thank you, Mike.
For the booze. So one of our listeners zelled me $50 to buy booze for the podcast.
Nice.
So thank you so much, Mike.
We're better when we're drinking.
This is very true.
He was like, you guys are a little stale. Can you get drunker for the next show? I was like, no problem, man.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast. I am your host, the Salty Nerd. And today we are going to be discussing the new Will Ferrell Netflix movie, Eurovision, which also has a very long and crazy title that I can't remember at the moment.
The Fire Saga.
The Fire Saga, something. Song of Ice and Fire or something like that?
It's Eurovision, The Fire Saga, because that's the name of their band.
The Story of Fire Saga.
The Story of Fire Saga.
And I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Matthew Kadish, author extraordinaire. What's up, man?
Not much. Feeling very Icelandic. Stupid Americans. Go back to your country.
I'm also joined by the ambassador of estrogen herself, Jude. What's up?
Hello. Are your feet sad?
She's a vampire again.
She's a vampire again.
Listen, Nadia made an appearance in this movie, and I only do that one accent.
And apparently that's her real accent. Yeah. She's the same one in this one.
That warmed my heart so much that she was doing the same voice. I was like, oh, it's really her.
You wouldn't have recognized her otherwise.
With those bangs.
It's good looking.
Yeah.
She didn't have dark hair. I'm also joined by the barbarian himself, Matthew Vader. What's up, man?
Hello. I'm here.
And the reason why we're talking about this movie is because it was a request from one of our top patrons. And I'll read the comment that I got from him, which it's not only about this movie, but we also have another question, a broader question that goes along with that.
He is top guy.
Haas,
top 5-star guy.
Yeah. Haas Boy says, I got a quick question I'd love to ask you guys. I just saw the ad for Will Ferrell's new Netflix movie, Eurovision, and even in the ad, which is supposed to be the highlight of the best parts, looks unfunny and shit. Has Will entered his Adam Sandler phase movie?
Oh, he did that a long time
fair
ago.
question.
What was his last actual funny movie? Also, what was the last actual comedy that was funny? Not a movie with funny parts, but actual comedy. Me and my mates, because he's from down under, me and my mates said...
Don't do that.
Sorry. Me and my mates said that what we do in the shadows was probably the only real comedy that we could have remembered. You guys are bigger nerds than me, and Kadish is probably going to dissect what a comedy actually is.
Yep.
But I'd be keen to hear your opinions. All right, so first off, we're going to talk about Eurovision and discuss that movie and our opinions on it, and then we'll talk about the second half of that question after. So Matthew Kadish, why don't you set up with Eurovision, what was the plot of this movie? What was it all about?
So the plot, if you want to call it that, basically, it's about a character named Lars Eriksson, or Eric Song, who, as a young boy, he loses his mother, and during her wake, everyone there starts watching this show on TV, which is kind of like an American Idol show, but it's called Eurovision. And
you guys know this is a real thing, right?
Oh, I did not know that.
The Eurovision Song Contest.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's exactly like what they do in this show.
Okay. So basically it's this European Song Contest.
Yeah.
And young Lars finds solace in the music during his mother's, the aftermath of his mother's death.
ABBA is playing.
Yeah.
And he loses his mind.
Yeah. And so he decides that his goal in life is going to be to win the Eurovision Song Contest. And the little girl next door, Sigrid, she kind of forms a bond with Lars, and they grow up together and they form a band called Fire Saga. And as they have reached middle age, they're
1,000 years later.
Yes, they're kind of pursuing their passion for like this music, practicing in Lars's father's basement, played by James Bond himself, Pierce
What
Brosnan.
the hell was Pierce Brosnan doing in this movie?
He was having a good time.
He was. He
Did
was
he
getting
think
paid.
this was like Mamma Mia 3 or something?
Something like that.
My very handsome father.
Yes. So basically, his father disapproves of Will Ferrell being a middle-aged man who's never married, and he's playing this terrible music. And so, like, through a series of increasingly ridiculous events, Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams, who play Lars in Secret, get accepted into the Eurovision contest. And once
Only because everyone else in the competition dies.
We're going to get to that.
Yes, heavy spoilers.
As now that they're in the competition, the trappings of fame and the industry start kind of creating a divide between them, and then they kind of reconcile and do their own thing and live happily ever after. And it's basically like it's a comedic, feel-good musical romance, all those things in a big ball. And I have mixed feelings about this movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it succeeded as a comedy, but like as a feel-good, fun romance movie, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it definitely didn't feel like a Will Ferrell comedy.
No.
Like, there were bits of Will Ferrell comedy in it, and those were the parts that worked the least in this movie.
Yeah, if he would have just toned down the amount of Will Ferrellness.
Honestly, if
movie.
you just replaced Will Ferrell with literally anyone else in this movie, I think it would have worked.
Yeah.
This movie was very like European Pitch Perfect for me.
Yes, that's a great description for it.
European Pitch Perfect?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pitch Perfect movies. We love those movies.
I've never seen them.
Oh, they're great.
That scene where they're at like the dance party and they like all burst out into like an a cappella version of I don't remember what they were singing, but it was like I got teared up and I was like, I hate how much this warms my heart that I'm watching this right now, but I fucking love it.
Yeah, she was
and I
legitimately
hate myself for it.
Wow.
Like she was like, I don't know
amazing.
why I love this movie so much right now.
Yeah, and then every time Will Ferrell would come back on the screen and he'd crack a joke that would fall flat, and I'd be like, he's ruining this for me.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah. Rachel McAdams really carried this movie.
Oh, she's great.
Gorgeous in this
She's
movie.
great.
Yeah.
And Legion, whatever his name is.
The guy from
Downton Abbey?
Yeah.
Downton Abbey.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm in season 2 of Downton Abbey right now.
Oh.
And Matthew.
You're in the middle of the journey.
Yeah, Matthew's like the main character that I'm kind of watching because he just got back from World War I.
Guard your heart, son.
I'm like all into
Guard
this,
your heart.
all into this show and all into this character, and I go and I watch this stupid Will Ferrell movie, and lo and behold, there's this like high and mighty English, lord from Downton Abbey.
He's Russian.
And he's Russian
the Lion
now.
of Love.
He's like,
The Lion of Love.
the
actor's name is Dan Stevens.
Dan Stevens. Shout out to that guy. He's doing this like fantastic Russian like.
Yeah.
His hair is epic.
Voice, the music in this movie is on point.
His
we'll give
chest is amazing.
Yeah. Every shirt he wears shows off his chest.
I was like, Kadish,
And
can
he's
you
got that-
start wearing vests with nothing else? And he was like, absolutely not.
He's got that perfect like groomed 5 o'clock shadow with his chest hair. It's I'm like, this is not the same person, and he's busting out.
I
this,
didn't even recognize you.
She passes out drunk, and then she wakes up, and her hair's like perfectly braided.
How long did it take you? Just 6 hours.
Just like,
Okay.
Well, the whole joke with him is that
He's gay.
He's gay.
Yeah, but he can't be gay.
there are no
he's from
gay men
Russia.
in
There
Russia.
are no gay men in Russia.
So yeah.
I am not a gay Russian. That's crazy. Tom.
Russia does not permit
I
gays.
love,
He's got a
love
hundo
these-
P.
I love these statues. I just like the way Greek
He
statues.
likes to dance and sing.
ABC with
Ray
the
girl's
hundo P.
hair.
There's legit like really funny characters and moments in
This
this
movie is great,
Yeah.
except for Will Ferrell.
Well, I don't know.
I love this movie.
Like his little bit about my penis is like a Volvo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
his best moment.
It's not very big, but it works when you need it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's very reliable.
Very reliable.
Doesn't turn heads. But
It doesn't turn heads, but it's very reliable.
It's very functional.
It's quite
penis.
mid-sized.
Yes, mid-sized.
I'm just going to leave this knife here in case you need
need
to
a
do any
murder.
more murders.
Well, what's the elves? What is that?
I loved
It's
that.
Icelandic lore.
yeah, I thought it was.
Oh, the elves have
Wait,
gone
wait,
too
wait.
far.
No, we got to set the stage, or else no one's going to know
Okay,
what we're
sorry.
talking
Yeah.
about.
So there's this Icelandic tradition to, I guess, kind of like serve like food
you give
and
like
drinks,
offerings.
give offerings to these elves.
It's like Jobu
Yeah.
from Major League.
I don't know how like deep of the lore. I don't know if there's people in Iceland
who actually do this,
putting booze up in the little elf house on the hill.
sure there was.
Yeah, but Rachel
You do not take
McAdams.
Jobu's rum.
Rachel McAdams' character is a big believer in elves, and Will Ferrell doesn't believe in the elves. But Rachel McAdams keeps going to this like little house up on the hill.
It's like built right into the
It's like
hill.
It's like a little hobbit hill.
Yeah,
It looks like a
almost
fairy.
like a dollhouse.
Yeah.
And she keeps leaving offerings there, and she asks the elves to like help them get into the Eurovision contest. And throughout the entire movie, there's this gag where Rachel McAdams believes that everything is related to the elves, like helping them like succeed or fail. Like the elves are angry with us, you know. That's why things are
The
going bad.
elves must hate us.
Yes. And there's a point in the movie where, so like in the contest to get to Eurovision, everyone does really good except for Fire Saga, where they have like this big malfunction on stage and they basically blow it, and they're in last place.
What does the guy say? Every performance is an adventure or something like that.
Something like that.
He's like, oh, here they come.
Yeah,
well, get ready. Every performance is
like,
an adventure.
So like after the contest, all the acts go on this boat to do like an after party, but Rachel McAdams and Will Ferrell, because they're so depressed over their loss, they stay on land. And
They're like embarrassed to go. They don't want to be seen by the other acts.
And while they're kind of consoling each other, the boat with all the contestants on it blows up. And so because they're the only contestants left alive, they win by default. And when the thing blows up, like they're being hit by like body parts and stuff. And Rachel McAdams is like, oh, the elves, they heard my prayers.
No, that's when she says, the elves have gone too far. Oh my God.
Yeah. And Will Ferrell,
I feel so bad. And Will Ferrell's like, yeah, we're about to be in Eurovision. She's like, oh, but also all of those people, I feel really bad.
and like once he realizes what this means, he's like so happy, but he's like, oh, but those poor people, but I'm so happy, but I'm so sad, but I'm
They're
so
like
happy.
jumping up and down, and he's like, oh no, I'm really crying on the inside.
Yeah.
And did you guys notice that the girl, the singer that Iceland wanted to win at first, Katiana, was played by Demi Lovato.
Who's that?
She's a pop singer.
She's a singer.
Oh, okay. I don't follow that stuff. Vader, I'm curious because you seem to
you
actually
love this movie.
I did. I watched this movie beginning to end without stopping, and I had I had a great time.
Really?
Yeah, it was just I laughed. I enjoyed it.
The Will Ferrell parts landed for you?
Yeah, this is like the first Will Ferrell movie in years I've actually kind of enjoyed.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it's like, I don't know. I think I go down these rabbit holes on YouTube, okay? And like 5 years ago, one of the things I did was I discovered this band. I didn't discover, but I found this band called Lordi, right? And they're like these really weird Swedish, I think, over-the-top, massive makeup, monster, kind of like Gwar, but like a European version of Gwar band who sings like these heavy metal pop horror tunes, right? And I'm like, what in the hell is this? So I go down to this YouTube, and it turns out these guys got famous on this show called Eurovision.
Weren't they in this movie?
No. The Eurovision Song Contest. They won this thing in 2006, and that's how I learned about this is a real contest. So when I found out that this movie was based on that show, and one of these weird over-the-top bands with the stuff that they were doing this thing, I was intrigued. I was instantly intrigued. And you guys see how everything is how over the top with this, with the costuming and the dancing and the choreography and the crowd. I think they filmed it in the actual place where they do this. It looks just like it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was just they nailed the whole vibe of the contest. And I really appreciated that. And I'll show you guys the Lordi video later, maybe when we're eating dinner. But just the whole parody of the thing. And I just, for some reason, I just was into this movie from the get-go. I just found it funny, Are
you normally a Will Ferrell fan?
No.
Okay.
It's
really.
Nice to see you so into something, Vader.
Yeah, maybe.
'Cause usually you hate those things.
Something that's really stupid. But, I just had a good time with this movie. And
I don't know that I've ever seen you smile before. It's handsome.
Yeah, great. Get behind my shield.
Get behind your COVID shield.
Yeah, this thing. We're going to talk about this stuff later. But no, it was a fun movie. I like the characters. I like the story. It was silly and dumb, but I think maybe I just needed something to laugh at because I've been kind of annoyed lately with everything that's going on, and it was good timing for me, and I enjoyed the music in it.
The music, I'm telling you, the music was good.
Yeah, even the Fire Saga song I thought was great. I'd probably go download that, and listen to it for real. And
play JAJA Ding Dong.
JAJA Ding Dong, yeah, that's it.
Dong.
You guys see those stupid videos?
The characters and their quirks and the villagers, they just resonated with me. I had a good time with this. It was fun, and I'm not judging this movie on like some grand scale. I'm just saying it was a fun movie for me. And, it was after watching those other 3 crap fests you guys made us watch this week.
The bar was very low.
Yeah, it seemed like I was watching a masterpiece here. But
yeah. For context, our last podcast, we talked about Chopping Mall from 1986.
Yeah.
Godzilla 98.
Godzilla 98
Monster
and
Squad.
Monster Squad from 1987.
Terrible movies.
So we watched those 3
One-star
movies.
shitfest.
And then on the back of those movies, we watched Eurovision.
Yeah.
So our scale might be slightly off a little bit.
Yeah, we all fucking live for this movie.
We're all like, this movie was great.
But I enjoyed the comedy in this for some reason. I don't know why. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the fact that like I'm shocked Matt didn't know this was a real thing.
With as much research as he does.
Yeah,
in this
it's
stuff?
like-
yeah.
Well, you had said you wanted to up your game, so good for
And-
you on the research, man.
Well, I didn't research anything. I just already knew because I've watched plenty of Eurovision Song Contest videos on YouTube. When you go down these rabbit holes, they did stuff like that shows up, and it's fun.
That's cool. I didn't hate this movie. Will Ferrell is definitely not my.
He's the worst part of this movie.
Yeah, but I'm like in general, like Will Ferrell movies, like there's very few that actually catch me. Like maybe Anchorman, Step Brothers, and like Talladega Nights. Those are the ones that off the top of my head I can be like, oh yeah, I remember liking those movies.
Anchorman is legendary.
Yeah. But like as far as Will Ferrell movies go, it's real hit or miss for me. So I really didn't know what to expect. Actually, I thought I knew what to expect coming from this movie. And when I was watching it, I'm like, okay, it's kind of, I got some like Zoolander vibes from the father and like not being, like, oh, what are you doing with your life? You should be a fisherman like me. Like
I said that while we were watching it. I was like, she's going to start singing in Icelandic and it's going to be a Zoolander Blue Steel moment.
Yes, exactly. And that.
And when it happened, I cried.
Did you
cried
really?
actual tears.
She was so into this movie.
I was
amazing.
so into it. Also, I had 3 glasses of wine and I hadn't drank for a while and I had been fasting all week. So it could have been part of that.
Yeah.
Could have been a factor.
So yeah,
But I maintain that I loved this movie.
Wow, that's
Will
crazy.
Ferrell was the worst part of it for me, but I thought it was well written. I thought it was well acted out. I thought the story was great, and it was so feel good. I loved all of this, and I hate musicals.
Oh, good. Okay, I was going to ask because I really don't like musicals.
loved all of the music in this.
Yeah,
The music
Loved
was
it.
well done. Yeah.
I enjoyed it too.
Well, I mean,
ahead.
just in regard to the music, I feel like in a lot of times in musicals, the purpose of the music is the music. But I feel like with this, the purpose of the music was the emotion behind the music, and that's what I got behind. It was so feel good for me. It like warmed my heart. I hate things that warm my heart usually, but but I loved it.
Yeah, the climactic song sequence was amazing.
Yeah.
It was really,
I was
really
very
good.
upset that he was still wearing those yellow fisherman
fisherman.
clothes. But
He didn't go all in.
Yeah, he should have taken that shit off before he got on stage. But
Well, he was too busy beating up on the Russian guy.
See, okay. Yeah, he punched-
The guy's just laughing as Will Ferrell hits him. He's like, it feels good. It's almost like a massage.
Yeah. So, the thing that I wanted to say was like, I thought it was really weird because, like you said, your least favorite part of this movie is Will Ferrell, which is like one of the things that they tried to sell this movie on was
Right.
like Will Ferrell's in it.
right.
His character actually, he kind of came off like a dick the entire movie.
Yes.
And I wasn't rooting for him. I was rooting for the girl. What was her name again?
Secret.
Secret.
Secret. I was rooting for her. I'm like,
Yeah.
you don't need Will. Like, literally, you could cut Will Ferrell out of this movie, and it would
Yeah,
not only be a better movie, but Like, it would be a legit, like, heartwarming.
I was almost disappointed in her that they ended up together and had a baby at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
it felt very undeserved.
girl, you could have done better.
You could have went with the Russian dude.
The gay Russian dude.
Could have turned him straight.
I mean, maybe, what was
Will
the
Ferrell's-
text name? Leo or something? Theo?
Oh, yeah.
It's Lars's passion for his music and craft that gets them through the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's ironic that like this really did feel like Secret's movie, and Will Ferrell's parts in it almost kind of derailed the movie for me. Like there's so much Will Ferrell humor sprinkled in here, like everything with the American students that are backpacking through Europe. He keeps running into them and like just berating them.
Go get your Starbucks.
Yeah. So just follow the smell of pumpkin spice.
I laughed at every one of those.
No,
That was good.
it's funny, but it always feels like out of place. So there's a part where the ghost of
Katiana.
Katiana appears to Will Ferrell, and she's trying to warn him.
She's all burned up.
that they're in danger because she died on the boat. And Jude will attest, I called the big twist of the boat blowing up and stuff like that. And so Katiana tries warning him that he's in danger, and the whole like a ghost just shows up out of nowhere in this movie, and then like later on, she shows up again. And she's like, so and so blew up the boat.
After the bad guy has already been defeated, she shows up again.
Yeah, and Will Ferrell's like, have you been watching from your ghost world? Like,
it's like, where have you been?
Yeah, he already tried to kill me.
He's dead.
The elves murdered him.
Most unhelpful ghost ever.
And then she's just like, oh, okay. And then she like disappears. It's like,
she's like, okay, carry on.
And it's like weird random stuff like that, which is kind of the Will Ferrell type humor, like seems so out of place in this movie, because the core of this movie is really like a romantic underdog story.
It's a rom-com for sure.
Yeah. But like the crux of it is Secret and her love for Lars, and him kind of like overlooking, what he has with her. In pursuit of this goal to win this contest.
But we have to remember that they think they might be brother and sister.
Oh, that was a running joke
through the whole thing.
They're like, everybody, every time
His dad was such a whore.
Yeah, every time they meet new people, they're like, "Oh, are you guys brothers and sisters?" We're like, we doubt it. We don't think so.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Maybe not. Yeah.
And she keeps trying to kiss him throughout the entire movie, and he's like, he like puts his hand on her lips, and he's like, maybe not. Maybe we should just focus on the music. And then maybe after we win, maybe.
It was interesting. You said Lars's passion for the music is what carried them through into the contest. Yeah. But like when I was watching it, and the reason why I felt like Will Ferrell was kind of a dick in this movie is because like he gave up like 3 times or twice, right?
He
was like, I'm done.
Ship
I can't do this anymore. I can't handle the embarrassment. And she's the one who's like, no, I'm going to take it.
Right,
like, so that's why I felt like it was like, why does she doesn't really need him?
I felt so bad for her when she goes back in after on television in the semifinals. Like every disaster that happened was Will Ferrell's fault, his character's fault.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, did you change my outfit?" And he's like, "Oh, yes, to the parameters of the stage." And it's that choice that makes them fail. In the semifinals, but it's ultimately their failure which gets them into the finals.
Yeah, and it's ultimately their failure that causes them to succeed.
Yes, and he bolts because he's too embarrassed to deal.
And she's there by herself with the Russian dude.
He's too embarrassed to deal with the repercussions of his actions. So she goes in there and she tells him, "I'm going to go in there and I'm going to take it, and I want you to go with me." And he's like, "Nope."
Yeah, and he just bails.
And he leaves. He goes back to Iceland, and she goes in there by herself, and that's why that choice is what made me feel disappointed that they ended up together at the end, because I felt like she was the strength of that relationship. And the whole time he was like, "Well, I write all of our songs and I design all of our outfits and I'm the very important part of this." Yeah. And she was the talent and she was the strength throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
Women power.
I was very disappointed in Will Ferrell's character in the movie, because I'm like, it felt like there was a moment where maybe he could have had like one of those hero moments.
There really wasn't a redemption for him.
Yeah, there really wasn't. I thought that was really weird.
I felt like the end was a good redemption, where he comes out on stage and he's like, "I want you to sing your song," and she's like, "We'll be disqualified." He's like, "I don't care. I want you to have this moment."
Ish.
Too little, too late, maybe.
I don't know. I feel like I guess too little, too late, or just like. bro, maybe you just should have stayed gone because you were the weakest link and you gave up.
Yeah, and it's very obvious that Will Ferrell's singing all of his parts in this movie.
And has anyone ever noticed how bad Will Ferrell's teeth are?
Oh yeah, I've noticed that for a while.
I had never seen that before.
He is getting kind of old to be doing
I think that's kind of what kind of cracked me up about this, because he's definitely
not a looker.
an older dude playing a guy that's like 20 years younger than what he really is.
That silver eyeshadow.
Yeah, it was funny. But the eyeshadow, man, that's right out of Eurovision.
Dressing
these
up as
bands,
Vikings.
Oh my
bands
God,
that are on this
that
thing
white
are
outfit.
next level.
And he's like, I want to make my penis look larger than it is.
yeah.
And she's like, oh, should I do a camel toe? That was hilarious. He's like, oh, now you're getting it.
So the band that they were going up against at one of the finales, that were all dressed up in like demon, like they had horns and stuff. Was that like mimicking that band that you were talking about? You just showed me.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Lordi, the 2006 winner, they're all based on like some weird versions of demons. There's like the keyboardist is a mummy, and the lead singer Lordi is a demon. He's like, when he's on full on stage mode, he's got these wings that are like 12 feet wide.
What?
That pop up out of his back and they go, and
Are they attached to his body?
yeah, it's crazy. The whole thing is
Was
wild.
he born with them?
That's weird.
Yeah,
man.
it's just.
Well, you know what's funny about this movie is like, so it has its ridiculous aspects to it and its comedic aspects to it, but the core of this movie is actually like a very well written kind of like underdog tale.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And they do so much great like setup and payoff in this film. I think that's one of the things that like really got to Jude when some of this stuff started paying off and she started tearing up.
Yeah.
Like there's this whole thing where we talked about how Rachel McAdams' character Secret believes in elves, and when she first meets the Russian guy, he starts talking about how one of his passions is Icelandic folklore and about the elves, and he mentions the spirit note, and like the way.
And I think in Icelandic it's called the Sperg note.
Yeah, the Sperg note, and that's basically like the perfect pitch to sing a song at.
All back to Pitch Perfect.
And at the end of the movie, Secret hits the spirit note, and they cut to the Russian guy. He's just like, "Whoa!" and then they go to Will Ferrell, and he's
that was when the tears slid down my face silently.
And they cut to Will.
I clutched my bosom.
Yeah, they cut to Will. They cut to Will Ferrell after she hits the note, and he's just like, "Spurg note." and it was like so perfectly like set up, and then like you have the scene earlier in the movie where she's writing this song, and Will Ferrell's kind of like eavesdropping on her, and then like at the end of the movie he's like, sing this song, and she sings it, and it's like fucking amazing.
Yeah, she sings it in her native language, which is what set everybody off.
Yeah, because everyone
because
they talk about at the beginning of the movie how no one ever sings in Icelandic.
Yeah.
And so, like, for her to do that, like, they cut to the bar where all the people in their hometown are sitting. They're like, she's singing in Icelandic.
Yeah.
It was a really good moment. I have to give it that.
But even like the elves, like they set up the whole elf thing, and then like when the guy tries to kill Will Ferrell, he suddenly dies, and he's got like, this knife in his
tiny
back.
knife in his back.
And Will Ferrell,
when that happened,
let me finish.
Wait. When that happened, though, I swear I was like, "Oh shit!" The elves made him have a heart attack, and it turns out, go ahead, babe.
Oh wow!
Well, it turns out the elves knifed him in the back.
Yes, which was so much better.
And Will Ferrell turns around and looks at the little elf house on the hill, and you just see like the door slam.
You never see the elves.
Yeah.
This little mini knife sticking out of his back.
Yeah.
And Will Ferrell says, "I'm just going to leave this here in case you need to murder."
He like is holding up the little mini knife. It's so tiny. Here's your murder knife. I'm gonna go now. Thanks.
I love the accents in this movie.
Yes.
It was either either on point or horrible.
Yeah.
There was
But
no in between.
also still worked.
Yeah.
It's like listening to Jude do a podcast.
Yeah.
With her terrible vampire accents.
How dare you, sir?
Yeah.
But that a cappella song mashup in the middle of the movie where
in the dance party.
I'm guessing
There
that,
we go.
I'm guessing that these were actual Eurovision like famous contestants that they brought on to perform in this like
Maybe, I
musical
don't know.
number or something like that. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was the moment where Jude was like, I love this movie.
I know. I was like tearing up, trying not to cry, and mad at myself for loving it so much.
I'm genuinely shocked that you guys like this movie as much as you do, especially Vader. Like, I did not expect that at all. I was like, oh, man.
I'm not a cold, heartless bastard all the time. Come on. I like sappy movies.
Like, I don't like, I'm with you. I hate musicals. Like, my wife
Yeah.
makes me watch, like, Mamma Mia and stuff with her. I was like,
See, and I can't stand
Not
that.
about
I hate
it.
those movies. But, like, this
I've
movie, I
never
was like,
seen
It's like,
Evita.
I love ABBA, but I can't stand that movie.
Vader reminds me of the guy who's just so angry that the only joy in life is JAJA Ding Dong. Like they just have a
Yeah,
character
I can
who's like,
relate to
get in here and
that.
play JAJA Ding Dong.
Shosha Ding Dong, sing it now.
I won't be able to sleep if you don't play that.
JAJA Ding Dong.
I think there's
Like-
actually
like,
a.
Who wants to hear our Eurovision song? No, play
No,
JAJA
no.
Ding Dong.
Apparently, there's an actual soundtrack out for this movie.
is there really?
Yeah, I'm
I don't care.
I'm gonna, and Jaja Ding Dong is on it.
That's amazing.
So yeah.
Play JAJA Ding Dong.
All right. Well, I have to say, I am shocked that we like this movie as much as we did.
Also, can we mention that? So, Will Ferrell's father, who is very
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan is very disapproving of him during the whole movie. At the end of the movie, he marries Sigrid's mother. So technically, they are now brother and
Brother
sister.
and sister.
And they're like, this will never not be weird.
What's everyone's favorite part of this movie?
Anything with not Will Ferrell in it. I probably her relationship with the Russian guy. I thought was really cool. I honestly expected him to be like the bad guy who tried to like sabotage them or something. That was 100%. I was like, oh, he's
Yeah.
going to try and like undercut him so that he can win the contest and he'll be the ultimate like antagonist of the movie.
He was actually quite sympathetic.
He's actually a really cool guy.
Yeah.
It was like Ryan Johnson directed this thing.
He subverted our
Subverted your
expectations.
expectations.
Yeah.
But this movie was enjoyable.
Yeah, that's true. It was actually good.
The antagonist in this movie was actually Will Ferrell.
Yeah, it kind of was.
How about when the Greek girl tried to seduce Will Ferrell and he was very scared?
Oh, yeah.
She was hot. Who was that? I liked her.
I don't know.
No
Anyway,
boobs. No boobs though.
Yeah, no boobs.
Lots of statue penises.
It's lots of
Oh, that was pretty funny.
lots
Yeah.
of
Ancient Greek.
It's funny because it looks just like you. Not you, the guy in the character. The guy
So,
in
well,
the
thank
movie.
you.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, I think it's got to be the Russian dude was my favorite part because not only because I was like, oh my god, that's the dude from Downton Abbey, but he was also turns out to be a really cool character in the
Yeah.
movie.
I feel like that guy's becoming a known for being a character actor.
Yeah. Every time you say that, it blows my mind because I'm still not seeing it in my head.
No, it is.
That is not Matthew. Get out of here.
It is. It was crazy. That's my favorite part. Kadish, what about you?
I have two favorite parts. The legit favorite part is the climactic end song where she gets to perform that song that she wrote, and everyone's just like enraptured with it. And she hits the spurg note and stuff like that. That whole final song sequence was just like, it was uplifting. Like I felt really good watching that.
Yeah.
And from the comedic standpoint, my favorite part was when the elves straight up murder that dude.
Yeah. It's like I was waiting through this whole thing from the get-go, from the very first time that she was like leaving stuff outside the doors. I'm like, there's really an elf in there. It's like, there's got to be an elf in there.
Do you guys remember that one scene in Talladega Nights where John C. Reilly is like, man, this house is haunted.
Oh yeah.
like they just introduced ghosts for no reason. Like to me, like I was like, oh, they're totally gonna do that. But the part where the door to that dollhouse just slams
shut.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, that's brilliant.
That was a really good moment. Jude, what about you? Oh, you
Nope.
want to do Vader?
Do
Oh,
Vader first.
All right, Vader. What do you got, buddy? What's your
My
favorite
favorite?
part? Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of enjoyed the whole movie. I don't really have a part that really stands out.
That still sounds weird coming from
I
your
know.
mouth.
Was it the part where your heart grew 10,
I kinda-
10 sizes too big?
The beginning of it when they were doing the music video was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's like straight up Eurovision music video. Legit Eurovision music video.
Volcano
That
Man.
was great.
They
With
end
the
up that they're
stupid
inside their
costumes.
basement, and he's got like a metal
Yeah.
tinfoil horns on.
Tinfoil, yes.
Yeah. Just the way they captured that whole scene was great to me. It's just
Yeah,
it instantly
over the top.
instantly hooked me. Yeah, so
Yeah, that over the top music video that they start off with, where they're on a volcano and they're playing their keyboards.
Yeah.
And they've got all these like crazy Viking outfits on.
when we're done recording this and I show you what I'm going to show you on YouTube, you'll understand.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right, Jude, what about you? What was your favorite part?
I love the song mashup dance party, which I loved her fucking dress. There was a very disco ball. Yeah, it didn't look good on her, but I was like, it's so sparkly and rainbow. I love it.
Like that whole party sequence was great. Like there were so many funny things in that.
I was in it.
Yeah. Like the Grecian statues, where the Russian guy has like all these Grecian statues around that just have huge penises and
fully erect.
Yes.
And no, they were chubby.
Some of them were semi-erect.
Yeah, they were semi.
And I love when he was like showing her around and he was like, oh, she's good, but she needs to ditch the boys. And this person's good, but not as good as you. And this person, they're better than you.
And then there was this one scene where Sigrid and Lars are having a fight on stage during rehearsals, and it's because they think that each one slept with someone else. And so Will Ferrell starts talking about how he's going to have sex with all these people.
Yeah.
And there's like this one random like guy with an iPad who he's like, I can't see your name
Theo?
tag.
Is that his name?
Yeah.
Theo?
And he's like, Theo, I'm going to have sex with you. It's going to be Tinder. It's going to be like, and then like later on, he's like, oh, Theo was out of my league.
He's talking to his reflection and he's like, I can't believe you thought you had a chance with Theo. I also really love the cameo by Nadja.
Oh yeah.
Are your feet sad? Why are you not dancing? Can you please make your feet happy and dance?
So this completely changes the context of how we're going to answer Haz's question about how Will Ferrell's career.
You thought we were going to shit on this movie.
Yeah, you thought we were going to shit on this movie for real, but
you know what? We're going to shit on you, sir.
No, we're not, because he pays us $10 a month. Shut up. No, it's
maybe he likes getting shit on. You don't know.
Why would you do it in that voice?
Sir, would you like me to shit on you?
It does sound better
For
coming out of Nadja.
$15 a month.
That's the $15 too.
I will come over and shit on you.
All right, no more mimosas. Mimosas for you.
With my very bad vampire accent, I will shit on you, sir. It would be my pleasure.
Gross. Next level.
Oh, you broke Alex.
He's done.
Oh shit, Alex is on the floor.
All right. So his question originally was, has Will Ferrell entered his Adam Sandler phase?
Yes.
Yes, he hasn't made a really great movie in a long time, and he was arguably the worst part of this movie,
Yes.
which was genuinely pretty good.
Grown-ups are masterpieces of modern filmmaking.
Grown-ups? I hate that movie.
And I heard that last movie he was in was actually really good, like Oscar nomination worthy. I haven't seen it yet. What's
Will Ferrell or Adam
Holmes and
Sandler?
Watson?
Uncut Gems. You're talking about Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I've heard mixed about Uncut Gems.
A lot of it's on Netflix.
I haven't seen it.
It's on my
but,
list to watch, but well, he's kind of coming back. Like for a long time, Adam Sandler. I mean, he made like Jack and Jill, and like.
I mean, he's still making like crappy Netflix movies.
Yeah.
In fact,
what was that one, Gunslinger or something
What was
like
the
that?
latest one? The Wrong Jane or something. What's it called?
That one that he did with the girl from Friends, Jennifer Aniston, where it was like, I think it was like Mystery Party or something like that.
Oh, that was decent.
That was pretty good actually. Yeah. We had a good time with that one.
Adam Sandler can act.
Yeah,
He is.
I think they're talking about his comedies though, because like there was a time where Adam Sandler comedies were like really good, and then they just got stupid.
Yeah. He went full Adam Sandler.
Yeah, you never go full Adam Sandler.
Never go full Adam Sandler.
That's what people
And
like about him.
for a while, Will Ferrell movies kind of felt like the same thing, or at least he kind of just stopped doing good comedies and started just doing those sloppy dumb ones.
Yeah,
The Wrong Missy. That's what I was thinking.
You know, after the success of Ricky Bobby, Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
You know, Will Ferrell did like this whole like string of like kind of sports oriented movies. Like he did Blades of Glory.
Yes.
See, and I hate that movie.
I thought that was funny.
And he also did a Semi-Pro,
I didn't see that.
which was the basketball movie. And you know, both those movies were terrible. And he's kind of had this weird string of like movies that haven't been very good. Like Holmes and Watson was considered to be like one of the worst movies ever made.
They pulled it from theaters.
Maybe his thing is, romantic comedies where the other actors can kind of carry him a little bit.
The ironic thing about him being the worst part of this movie is like this movie wouldn't have been made without him because he was the one who produced it. I think he was involved in the writing of it and stuff like that. So like a lot of this probably has to do with like him getting this movie made, but at the same time, like, his bits in it were just not the best parts.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's a weird combination, this movie.
I don't know. There were some parts in this movie I thought were funny. Like even the really little silly things like, oh, what are you doing there, Lars? Oh, I'm taking this rope and I'm wrapping it around my hands into circular station so we can store it on the boat. I don't know. It was,
like literally telling him what he was doing.
Yeah. That kind of stuff was funny to me.
I did like how they had like a 10-year-old drummer for their band.
Yeah.
He just got a pube.
Yeah.
No, he got an armpit hair.
Oh, that's right.
Got this first armpit hair this week. Everybody congratulate him.
And I also loved how much Lars hates Americans.
Yeah.
Every time he sees the Americans, he just starts ragging on them for no good reason.
Yeah, I think the character of Lars worked. I just don't think that Will Ferrell playing that character worked.
Yeah, like Jude and I were kind of saying, like, this would have been better if like Stellan Skarsgård or something like that, so or maybe like
I was like Jesse Eisenberg would have been better in this than Will Ferrell.
Like Thor, Chris Hemsworth.
Oh my God,
might have been good.
Who was the guy that played Eric Northman in True Blood?
He's a Skarsgård.
Oh, is that Stellan Skarsgård? Okay, yeah.
No, he's not Stellan.
He's a Skarsgård though, right?
Eric Skarsgård?
Well, it's a Skarsgård.
It's a Skarsgård though.
I would have liked. He would have been. Good
I'm surprised we didn't get a cameo from Halfdor from the Mountain from Game of Thrones. I thought for sure he was at least going to show up in like the bar or something like that. I was waiting for it. It
wasn't in the budget.
I was very disappointed. I mean, he's in Iceland. You think this was filmed in Iceland?
He's already there.
I'm surprised that Pierce Brosnan didn't have more, because remember he was in Mamma Mia, which was the ABBA musical.
Yeah. I was very frustrated with his character the whole movie. I get very irately, irrationally irate about unnecessarily bad parents in movies. I hate them.
But it was also a good thing though, because I talk about setup and payoff and good writing. So it starts off with, him being very disapproving of his son. And in fact, there's that great Will Ferrell bit where he's like, I think my father's disappointed in me.
And she's like, no, maybe he was drunk.
No, he distinctly said, I am disappointed in you.
And I am
you
not
are a very
drunk.
big disappointment to the family.
See, it's so weird because when I watched that part, that did not land for me at all.
I didn't think it was funny.
I thought it was dumb, but then when I'm talking
about
to you
it
guys,
is funny.
It sounds funnier than it is in the movie.
But by the time, so he's so terrible to Will Ferrell that by the time you get to the scene on the boat where they reconcile and he talks about how proud he is that like he refuses to give up and he has that Viking blood.
Yeah.
That's such a great payoff because, the entire time building up to that, like you just see Pierce Brosnan just kind of like bad mouthing him and like putting him down and being disappointed in his son. And by the time like he actually reveals that he's proud of his son, you're just like, oh, that feels good. That's great. So, I mean, like, there's so much of that in this movie where there's actual arcs to the story where, it starts off with stuff that we don't like and we're disappointed in and we'd like to see change. And then by the end, like, they give us exactly what we want. And I think that's what made this movie work for me was the fact that by the end of the movie, you feel good having watched this. You feel uplifted. You like where the characters end up. You like what happened. Like even like all the side characters get like even those 4 American backpackers, they end up at the bar. They're like, yeah, we love Iceland.
This is cool.
Like we still hate you.
Yeah. The one guy who demands JAJA Ding Dong, he gets that at the end of the movie. I mean, like everyone gets what they want.
She gets her baby.
She winds up with Lars. It's a very happily ever after ending, and the whole journey of the movie was enjoyable. And I mean, like I'd give this movie probably like 3 out of 5 stars, but like it was a fun, good, uplifting film that I had a good time watching.
For something that you can watch on Netflix
for free.
Yeah.
For free is great. Yeah, I had no issues with this.
So,
it was a surprise how much I enjoyed it.
Cool. So the last question that has Haas.
Well, did we answer the last question?
I don't think we did.
Did we? No.
Did we answer any of his questions?
Okay, so is Will Ferrell in his like slump, or is he coming out of it?
I think he's coming out of it now.
Oh, I disagree. No, I think he's fully immersed in his
Well, I
Adam
think
Sandler.
this movie will start the comeback, though, right?
Maybe.
I think if people
this
like us
podcast blows up.
if people like us like this movie, other people are going to like.
Yeah,
this.
but I didn't like him in this movie.
I don't know. I thought he was okay.
Well, your
I
heart
mean,
has grown so much.
Will Ferrell movies have always been very hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like he's good in small doses, like when he appears in like Austin Powers or Stu Lander or something like that. He
Old
really
school.
kind of like steals the show. But when it's based around a character of his, it becomes very hard to work around. I think the only ones that really worked were Anchorman and Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
All the other ones that star Will Ferrell aren't very good. And I think it's because of that unevenness that he brings to these stories where like you'll be going along with like a regular movie and then you'll have these Will Ferrell moments where he just kind of goes off in full Will Ferrell mode. And those are good in like small bits, but they tend to distract from like the broader story. So I don't know. Like I think that his slump is probably going to continue just because that's how it is, you know?
Yeah. You think he'll start doing serious movies like all the other comedic actors?
I mean, like he's done serious movies before. I thought that one where he hears the narrator in his head.
Oh, yeah.
Was really good.
Fiction, right?
Stranger Than Fiction.
Stranger Than
Oh,
Fiction.
I love that movie.
Maybe he can just make more Netflix movies.
Maybe. I think he should maybe get out of acting and just be producing more.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe just stick to the cameo stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe work for him.
I think he's great as a side character, and even in like Wedding Crashers,
Yeah.
he's a standout as like a side character. Old School, he's a standout as
Frank
a
the
side
Tank.
character. Yeah, yeah. People are always quoting Frank the Tank, but like as a main character in this genre, it falls flat a lot.
Yeah, the only ones that really work are like when they're full ridiculous comedies, and that's what you're expecting, like Anchorman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anchorman is full absurdist comedy.
Yeah,
So,
but
like-
like nobody's asking for a Frank the Tank movie.
Exactly. But if you look at Old School, like those are movies that are kind of grounded in reality almost, and his sense of humor is so absurdist that it needs to be just flat out wacky. Like Anchorman is the perfect example.
Like
Because,
Anchorman, I love Anchorman.
oh yeah, Anchorman's
Yeah.
great.
But,
Talladega Nights, love it.
Yeah.
But people look at me like I'm crazy because I like movies like Austin Powers too. You know, it's just
Austin
like
Powers is great.
yeah, I love it. But I don't know. I think I thought he was pretty good in this movie. There wasn't any really big scenes where I thought he missed. You know, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is.
So the last question, what's the last best like real full-on comedy that you've seen? I think you said you like Jojo Rabbit, right?
Is that a comedy?
That's not a comedy.
It's not a comedy?
not a comedy.
It's a satirical.
I mean, there's a difference between a comedy and a satire. But
Okay, so-
you know, when you're talking about Nazi Germany, you don't think of comedy.
But that was the point of the
That
movie.
was a
though.
hoot.
That's the point of the movie.
No,
is that
no.
they made
Jojo Rabbit's not a comedy.
You haven't seen the movie. Matt has.
Okay. I'm just,
Listen to
it was
him.
sold to me
Has
as
his
a
moments.
comedy.
It has his
I
moments,
think he hit the nail on the head with What We Do in the Shadows. It's fantastic. And
Yeah.
I like that kind of like dark satirical comedy. Like it's not in your face like haha Dumb and Dumber. I find that kind of comedy a little exhausting. But I like that that comedy that like kind of when you're talking about it later, you're like, God damn, that was funny. Like it's funnier later.
Yeah.
I kind of miss like the Zucker brother style comedies, like Airplane. Airplane's a movie that never fails to be funny. You can watch that movie a million times.
Hate that
So
movie.
And it is
ridiculous.
hilarious. Of course you would hate it. Jesus Christ, Alex. I don't know why I'm friends with you.
It's so stupid.
Well,
It's too
yeah,
dumb.
it's stupid, but it's
too dumb.
hilarious.
Like the Naked Gun movies. Like I can't stand those either.
Zucker brother movies were the Naked Gun movies. Like those movies are hilarious. But you know, you don't see movies like that made much anymore. You know,
Yeah, you know,
suck.
you asked me what was the last good comedy movie I watched. I'm having a hard time coming up with
Yeah.
something
I almost-
something recent. You know, I mean,
Because would you even consider Eurovision to be a comedy?
it's a romantic comedy. Sure,
It's an underdog story.
You know what was the last movie I found really funny was the second Jumanji movie.
I loved that
okay.
movie.
Yeah, those were okay.
But that's not a comedy. Those
No.
are considered a
Those
comedy.
are action comedies,
But
right?
and also I think that's like the genre of today is like you don't get a drama or a comedy or an action. It's just this amalgama
Yeah.
of it's a drama and a comedy and an action. It's
Yeah.
like just an everyman's movie.
Yeah, they have to try to get as many biggest demographic
this
possible.
This is what we're getting.
Do you remember
today.
when like Jim Carrey used to make funny movies and like you see like a Jim Carrey movie?
What was that like?
You see like a Jim Carrey movie and you'd be like, oh, that's gonna be funny.
Like Liar Liar. Or
Yeah, when did Dumb and Dumber 2 come out? That wasn't.
Oh, that was terrible.
It was
not
bad,
funny.
but yeah.
First one wasn't good either.
First
I'll
one
go
was
on record.
amazing.
That was another one.
Come for me.
I'm trying to think of like the straight up stupid comedy movies that have come out, and I keep going back to like those Adam Sandler movies that I talked about earlier.
Like Happy Gilmore.
No, it's like where Grown Ups.
Grown Ups, yeah.
Grown Ups 2, where they like Shaq being stupid. And
Yeah.
Like
where he's the
family-friendly
cop.
comedies.
Yeah, I like those movies. They're funny to me, but they're not good. But I laugh. So
I mean, like when you try to think of good comedies, you think of like movies that just you can watch multiple times and still crack up every time you watch them. So like it's hard to pinpoint. Like I know that the Farrell brothers, the guys who did Something About Mary, they used to make comedies like
Along
that.
Came Polly. Is that the same guys?
I think so.
They were
Not
pretty
as
funny.
good.
You don't
Yeah,
like that movie?
yeah. Like everything they did post Something About Mary weren't very good.
I feel like there was this whole timeline of people trying to make Jennifer Aniston a leading lady or like the leading. I feel like they were like not sure what to do with her. Is she the new Meg Ryan? Is she the new Angelina Jolie? And it just fell flat, and she didn't.
careful.
What?
Don't talk
that's his-
crap
that's
about my
your
girl.
boo?
That's his lady.
She's number
I don't-
one on my list.
I don't
okay?
feel like she became the thing that they were trying to make her
No,
be.
I think you're right.
Although that one that she did, Meet the Smiths, or with Jason Sudeikis.
Where she's the stripper, but she's pretending to be.
Yeah.
Bad Bosses.
Yeah. Oh, that movie's
Bosses.
great.
Horrible Bosses was freaking hilarious.
She in that?
Yes.
Yeah, she plays one of the terrible
Oh,
bosses.
Yes.
she's the dentist.
dentist,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, she's great in everything that she does, but I don't think that Hollywood succeeded in making her the leading lady that they set out to make her be.
Maybe. She was good in Bounty. Was she in Bounty Hunters with Gerard Butler?
She's good in everything she's in. I love her in The
Or is that
Breakup.
somebody else? Anyway, I thought of two comedies that I had seen technically recently. It's been at least a year or more. But Tag.
Tag was great.
I love that movie.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
And that's a straight
It's
comedy.
got my boy Jeremy Renner.
Is that considered a straight? Yeah, Jeremy Renner or Jeremy
yeah, Jeremy Renner.
Renner. Yeah.
No, that's a straight up comedy.
Straight up comedy. Okay, that Tag.
That's a fantastic movie.
It was really good.
Game
And
Night.
Date Night was also really funny.
Oh, is it called Date Night or Game Night?
Game Night.
I would like to order a.
Oh God! This is the scene of the movie that will cause the breakup between me and Kadish.
Oh no.
Another Rachel McAdams movie.
Yeah. Tag.
You don't stop
I'd
ordering
like
that
I'd like
stupid
a Harvey
drink every
Wallbanger,
time
please.
we go out and pop like it embarrasses me.
I have to make sure that it's a real bartender. Harvey Wallbanger.
He does this all the time.
I remember
I'm
you
so
telling me that
glad we're in a
story.
f***ing quarantine so that he can't embarrass
Ever
me
since we saw that
at
movie
a bar
in the theaters,
anymore.
I order that drink whenever we go out.
And now I like make sure we don't sit at the bar because I don't want to get the side eye out of the bartender and have to be like, I'm really sorry. My boyfriend's an idiot. He's not really a drinker. And I have to like make excuses with my fucking eyes.
Hey, I can't. I actually found a one bar that got me a Harvey Wallbanger. It was pretty good. It's basically a screwdriver.
You would have no idea if it was even made correctly. They probably just were like, yeah, I'll just make whatever. This guy doesn't fucking know.
Well, all I know is that that's the only real bartender in town. So
Okay.
You know what's funny? I got my phone out behind my little shield here,
Your Corona
Okay.
Shield?
Corona Shield.
and I just typed in top comedy movies,
Yeah.
and there's literally nothing on this list that's made after 2004.
Really?
Yeah,
I believe it.
What about Tag?
It's
Tag came
strange.
out more
It's very
recently than
strange.
that.
so it's like
What are the top?
Team America
Great.
is number 8, 2004.
Wow.
And most of these are really old, like 70s and stuff. Anchorman, 2004.
Well, the 70s were a great.
The
time
Big
for comedies.
Lebowski, 1998.
Oh, I love that
I
movie.
wouldn't call that a comedy.
Naked Gun, 1988. Dumb and Dumber, 1994. These are the kind of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yep.
Ugh, can't stand it.
I love that.
Due Date with Zach Galifianakis.
I don't love that movie.
But did we all collectively get a big cactus stuck up our asses in 2004 and everybody quit being funny or something?
Well, I think
when did cancel culture start?
Well, I think
traction?
now we're not being served straight comedies.
It's very interesting to me. Like, what happened?
Cancel culture.
Yeah,
it was the offend.
Nothing's funny
culture.
anymore because
because
it's all offensive.
It might offend somebody.
So now we don't get straight comedies. We get it's really an action movie, but it's also funny.
Yeah,
it's like people are afraid to be offended.
Yeah,
anymore, and it's really sad. And it's just,
But I think there's a couple gems out there that I think have come out more recently than that. Like we said, Tag. I think Tag was a great comedy movie.
Hangover.
The Hangover.
Well, that was also early 2000s.
Was it?
Yeah, I think
feel
so.
like that was in like 2010s. No?
Elf.
Ugh.
Love that movie. But, it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Every, what's his name? Kevin Hart movie. Like,
he's hit or miss for me.
I don't understand Kevin Hart because I don't find him funny at all, but people just go crazy over his movies.
He's charismatic.
Like when he did Central Intelligence with The Rock, like there were some
he's
things
a
in there
good side character. He is not a leading man.
When him and The Rock get together, though, I think they have great.
Well, I think they have such a bromance that it translates.
Their Jumanji movies are fantastic.
Yeah.
But like,
and that one where he was like, they were like old high school friends.
Central Intelligence.
That's the one. Okay.
When The Rock was
that
fat.
was funny. Yeah, that was funny.
That was a good movie.
But like, I'm never going to go see a
movie,
Kevin Hart movie featuring Kevin Hart. I don't think he's that funny, but I think he's a good side character, which is where I think Will Ferrell should
Central
be.
Intelligence was an action movie that had comedy in it.
It was a comedy that had action in it.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So what? Okay. Who makes the rules as to what comes first?
Me.
You?
I don't know. I think it's all perspective, I think that's the point.
It was a Kevin Hart movie, who's a comedian, and The Rock, who's an action star, but he's also skilled in comedy, and it was a playoff of Rock's actiony like image type thing. So it's technically a comedy.
And I mean, if you're familiar with him in the WWE days, like he was all like, "Do you smell what the?"
He was hilarious.
Yeah.
The people's eyebrow.
To this day, nobody can cut a promo as good as The Rock.
But then you
really can't.
Then you watch a movie like Baywatch, and it's just like, oh, Rock.
What have you done?
What have you done?
Oh,
yeah, I actually got tricked into watching that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was the main guy in Baywatch.
he was.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
He played Mitch.
You don't want to watch
played
Baywatch.
Mitch.
Trust me.
He played the David Hasselhoff character.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds nice. I'll just live it through your memory.
If you just like watching hot dudes on the beach, just go watch the movie.
We're the Millers, that Jennifer Aniston movie.
We Are the Millers. That's what I was thinking of.
That was 2013. Eurotrip 2004.
Oh God, I love Eurotrip.
Yeah. What about Sex Drive?
I like Sex Drive.
That was a great movie.
I love Road Trip better than Sex Drive.
Okay. I can dig it.
A bointer.
So what was our another question?
Cheetah?
Road Trip was 2000.
What was the last great comedy, like a straight comedy that you've seen, and why? Like exactly what we're talking about. Like, why haven't we seen
American Pie?
more? I've never been into American Pie once.
That's a great movie though. American Pie, I love it.
Yeah, it's generally
what about
like warm apple pie.
What about Jay and Silent Bob reboot?
Terrible.
Really?
It was awful, but it was. I liked it, but it was bad. I mean, if you're not a Kevin Smith fan, you're not going to like that movie.
Yeah. No. It's an interesting conversation. When did comedies...
It could go on for
I really think
days.
it's all the fault of cancel culture.
Absolutely.
And people just are too afraid to make legit comedies nowadays because they're going to offend somebody. Even Steve Carell, when he did an interview recently when they were talking about The Office. It was one of the greatest sitcoms ever made.
Yeah.
It's generally seen as one of the best sitcoms made. And he was like, we would never be able to make that movie or show now.
That's sad.
It is.
It's sad.
Really sad.
I mean, when you have stand-up comedians who are getting canceled over like jokes, and it's like,
from like 9 years ago.
Yeah, well,
it's ridiculous.
I think Bill Barr has like the best take on that stuff. Where it's like it's a freaking joke, man.
And I mean, even Todd Phillips, who's like, I can't make comedies anymore.
I think
the guy who did Joker.
My favorite thing is when you have comedians and people out there who don't care and they try to cancel these people.
That's Joe Rogan.
And that's where I was going.
Yeah.
It's like you try to cancel Joe Rogan, the world is going to burn.
He's going to tell you to off. Is what he's
That's
gonna
what's
do.
going to happen. It's going to be.
And he will rise like a phoenix.
Yeah. Him and Bill Burr, I think, are the last like bravest comedians out there. They just
Yeah.
don't give a shit.
And I think it's this like Hollywood mentality, like what you were saying about like the genre of movies made in the 90s, like that Hollywood mentality. Well, this is the 2020s, teens to 20s mentality of movies that are being made right now, that we're not getting fed anything that's like straight what it is. We're not getting fed action movies. We're not getting fed drama movies. We're not getting fed comedy movies. It's all just this like combination of it's funny and it's action and it's this and it's that. And it's trying to like feed too many mouths.
And it's inclusive.
Ooh. It's very diverse.
Yes.
Well, Dave Chappelle is also one of those comedians that doesn't take any guff.
He doesn't make movies though. Like I miss his show. Like the skits from his Dave Chappelle show are freaking fantastic.
He's just out there chilling in Ohio.
Yeah, he doesn't do it anymore because he just doesn't.
But also, no
doesn't
one's like clamoring for a Dave Chappelle movie.
I think if he put that out,
Eddie Murphy,
people would love it.
Yeah, Dolomite.
Yeah, that was a comedy.
No, that was more of a biopic with comedic elements. In it.
Okay.
See, there's no straight comedy.
There's no straight comedies anymore. It's weird.
So the answer to your question is when they last made comedies.
Yeah, I mean, you have to take into account that regular stories can have comedic elements in them. That doesn't make them a comedy. A movie that is specifically designed to make people laugh, that's a comedy. So you can have these mashups like action comedy, romantic comedy, stuff like that. But straight up comedies are just meant there was that string of movies where it was like Not Another Teen Movie.
Oh God!
Like
that's what killed the comedian.
Yeah, those aren't my thing.
Yeah, I mean, like those are straight up comedies.
Yeah,
but they're not very funny.
Oh, what was the scary version of it?
Scary
with,
movie.
Anna Faris?
Scary movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Nailed it.
But I mean, like we were talking about that new David Spade movie on Netflix, The Other Mandy.
Oh, The Wrong Missy.
The Wrong Missy.
It's a Happy Madison.
Yeah, it's a Happy Madison production, but like that's supposed to be a straight up comedy, and that looks terrible.
It looks awful.
David Spade's not really my thing.
And comedy is so subjective that it's hard to kind of get a group of people together to agree.
Yeah, like you like the freaking Naked Gun and airplane movies, and I'm just like, please
I
get
love
it over
David
with.
Spade.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's why comedies need to be like good movies on their own, because sometimes the comedy wanes, and once you know the punchline of the joke, it's not being funny.
Spade's show on Comedy Central before the COVID nonsense was great. We watched it every night.
And his Tiger King interviews.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think that, I mean, just to emphasize my point that we're just like having these like mixtures of movies. Like, I don't think that I miss the times where there were movies that were just like for one specific audience. And I think if Hollywood, if you're listening, there's nothing wrong with just pandering to one audience. You don't have to try and feed all of the mouths.
Yeah, you just have to adjust your budget to make sure that you're not spending too.
I mean, we really need a new Mel Brooks.
Yeah,
we need somebody like Mel Brooks to come out and just make some movies that offend everybody, and they don't give zero fucks.
Yeah,
if they do.
Even Mel Brooks couldn't make
yeah
funny movies after a certain point.
It's weird. It's like the gas tank kind of runs dry.
We don't mean remake Spaceballs.
Yeah,
please
come up with your
stop
own.
remaking shit that
Or
we
Robin
love.
Hood and the Men in Tights.
Great, love it.
Love that movie.
Did you see this thing about the new Princess Bride that they're trying to remake?
It's just on Quibi. It's just on Quibi. It doesn't count.
I don't even want to
It's like
acknowledge
Steve.
its existence.
You can't see it, but I'm shaking
Quibi
my
is
head
the Steve
emphatically.
of streaming services.
Steve. I was just with Steve. It doesn't count. It's just Quibi. It doesn't count. Don't worry about it.
Throwback to our last episode.
Throw it back to Monster Squad where the Virgin didn't count Steve.
She was
Steve,
a
it doesn't
virgin, except for Steve.
Except for Steve. Steve doesn't count. All right. Well, that's all my thoughts.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
that's Eurovision.
Yeah, Eurovision and like comedies in
culture.
general,
Yeah.
cancel culture. That's the end of the episode. Thank you, Haas. Really appreciate your support. Hope this answered your question. I hope you enjoyed the episode. And I actually would recommend you go check out Eurovision. You might be pleasantly surprised.
Thank you, Haas.
Yeah, thank you guys. Have a great night. Before we head off, what is where can we find you guys on the socials? Matthew Kadish, did you already? Matthew Kadish.
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish, on Twitter and all the other socials. And you can also check out kadishbooks.com. if you
Ooh,
wanna,
Matthew Kadish has a new book.
Oh,
coming
yeah,
out.
new book.
if you want to check out my books, although it's not under my name, so you won't find it at kadishbooks.com.
It's called
Yeah, I was trying to show my friends at work your book the other night, and I forgot you used a pen name on it.
Yeah, it's called Sinful, the Devil's Breath, and Matt Vader was actually a consultant on the book because he is an expert in casino security.
Yeah.
And
that's what I
Juju
am.
was a beta reader.
Yes, she was. And Alex tried to do an audio version of the first chapter.
Don't, never happened. I couldn't get past the thirsty vaginas and stuff.
Professional casino consultant. Resume updated.
There you go.
Okay, yeah.
Get your
Alex, you're worse than my mom. She doesn't like the thirsty vaginas either.
That's so weird. But no, I don't want to
That's
talk
weird.
about
Did you know that there's a character in that book based on me?
Was it
He hasn't-
was it the thirsty vagina?
He hasn't read the book.
I haven't gotten that far
It's
yet.
the redheaded hooker. Thanks, babe.
Anytime.
And where can we find you on the socials, Jude?
I'm in Matt's book. I'm a redheaded hooker.
Where can they find you,
That's why I
Jude?
fell in love with you.
That's how we met. Times were tough, and I offered him a discount.
I got the $15 membership tier.
I shit on his chest, and it was love from there on.
God, you got to stop with that shitting on people thing. That's too weird for me. I'm going to have to find new friends.
I don't have to do it to you.
Please don't.
Yeah, you have to subscribe to the $20 tier to make sure that doesn't happen.
I don't really shit on people. You can find me at I am Juju, not that you want to now, on the social medias.
A very select group of people want to find you.
You're gonna get a bunch of weird followers, and they're all gonna have blue butterflies in their.
Yeah.
Going to be demanding more butter.
More butter.
DM me.
More butter.
More butter.
We say,
Waitress.
That's it, Salty. You're cut off. Get a hold of yourself.
where can they find you, Matt Vader?
Matt Vader 74.
Thank you. All right, guys.
Twitch, you know, other stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff. Go follow him. Get your
Twitter.
affiliate. How many more you need? 3?
5.
5. Go get it, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed the podcast, and see you later.